You're 7 years old in 18th century Kyoto when a strange woman visits your family home. She examines your face like you're a prize melon at the market, turns your hands over, checks your ears. Weird flex, but okay. Next thing you know, your parents are accepting money and you're being whisked away in a fancy palanquin. Congratulations, you've been hand-selected for the most exclusive girls' club in Japan. Too bad no one asked if you wanted to join. First night and you're already missing home when the door slides open. In walks the most stunning creature you've ever seen. White face, red lips, hair styled higher than your family's entire house. She smells like flowers and moves like water. A real-life geisha. You're starstruck until she notices you staring. Fetch my tea, you little rat. Dream meet reality. Day 1 and you're already learning the pecking order. You rank somewhere between the house cat and yesterday's rice. While other 7-year-olds play with dolls, you're learning how to kneel for hours without your legs falling off. Fun childhood, right? The house mother corrects you when you call the women geisha. In Kyoto, we are gako. Tokyo has geisha. Learn the difference or scrub floors forever. Geography lesson complete. 4 months in and you've mastered the fine art of walking silently, breathing invisibly, and disappearing instantly. You've been smacked with the fan 17 times for various crimes like existing too loudly and blinking incorrectly. One evening, the house mother orders you to serve tea to an important guest. Your hands shake so hard you're basically creating waves in the teacup. Don't spill, don't spill. You manage to set it down without a disaster. Then, without thinking, you turn the cup so its design faces the guest. Exactly like you've seen the gako do. The house mother raises an eyebrow. The senior gako actually looks at you. Not through you, but at you. The girl has potential, she says. 3 words. That's it. But suddenly, you're floating. Someone noticed. Someone approved. For the first time, you're not just a servant, but a student of something ancient and exclusive. You still sleep on a threadbare futon in the corner, though. Let's not get carried away with the optimism. 3 years in, and your back has permanently curved into the perfect bowing shape. Evolution has nothing on geisha training. Morning routine, wake before the sun. Stretch your legs until they scream. Practice walking with a book on your head, then 2 books, then add a cup of water. Spill a drop, start over. Your neck muscles could now support a small building. Afternoons are for shamisen practice. 3 hours of plucking strings with your fingertips until they bleed, then callus, then bleed again. Other girls your age are chasing boys. You're chasing perfect pitch and losing fingernails in the process. The music teacher smacks your hand with a bamboo stick. She's 80 years old but has the aim of an archer. You're basically playing musical dodgeball with your fingers as the ball. Dinner comes with a side of etiquette lessons. 37 different ways to pour sake. 23 ways to compliment a man's business success without actually knowing what his business does. 15 acceptable conversation topics and 300 forbidden ones. Quiz tomorrow. By 13, you've memorized every kimono pattern in the house. You can identify a geiko's rank, specialty, and even personality from her obi knot alone. Useless skills everywhere else in the world. Essential currency in yours. Then comes the day. The house mother calls all 4 shikomi to the main room. 4 girls enter. 3 will remain servants. 1 will begin formal maiko training. Your heart pounds so hard you're sure everyone can see her kimono moving. Then she looks at you. This one, she knows how to watch and listen. She'll begin training next month. You made the cut. Now, the real work begins. The next few years are a blur of advanced training. Dances so complex your feet develop their own vocabulary. Music lessons where missing a single note earns you a rap on the knuckles. By 15, you're finally ready for your debut. The day before your Misadashi, you're ordered to strip down and soak in a wooden tub. 3 senior gako inspect every inch of your body like you're a racehorse. Too thin, one mutters. Good neck, says another. Small chest. Easier for the kimono, adds the third. You're officially reduced to a collection of parts, not a person. Transformation day arrives. The makeup artist approaches with a pot of white paint. Don't move, don't speak, don't breathe too hard. She applies a base layer that feels like wet cement on your face. Your skin screams beneath it. Beauty is pain, and apparently also partial suffocation. The hairdresser has the muscle definition of a sumo wrestler. She tugs, pulls, and molds your hair into a structure that could withstand a typhoon. Hundreds of pins dig into your scalp, each one a tiny dagger with its own personality. You name the most painful one Stabby McStabberson. Now for the kimono. Not just any kimono. A furisode with sleeves so long they practically drag on the floor. Price tag? More than your entire Okia makes in 3 months. Final touches. 6-inch wooden sandals that transform walking into an extreme balancing act. You're now a walking, talking national treasure. Unlike the senior gako who wear wigs, your elaborate hairstyle is your actual hair, which explains why you'll sleep on that wooden neck block for the next few years. Beauty is pain, sleep is optional. Also, you kind of need to pee, but that's not happening until the evening. Your onesan guides you to your first tea house. Remember, she whispers, you're not selling your body. You're selling access to a fantasy. The fantasy that beauty and art still matter in this world. First customer interaction. A wealthy merchant. Sake-reddened face. You pour his drink exactly as practiced. He compliments your innocent beauty. Your onesan laughs at exactly the right moment, drawing his attention away. Lesson 1. Redirection is your best defense. A handsome young patron requests you specifically at his business gathering. Your heart does a little flip, betraying your professional cool. Your onesan notices immediately. After the party, her advice is blunt. Hearts are terrible investments in our business. Admiration is currency. Attachment is debt. Cold, but she's not wrong. At 17, you're giving your first solo dance performance at a major festival. Your stomach performs its own interpretive dance routine of pure terror. The shamisen begins. Your fan becomes an extension of your arm. Your body tells a story of seasons changing, love found and lost. The final note hangs in the air. Silence. Then, thunderous applause. A famous poet approaches. For a moment, he says, I forgot you were human. You became the wind, the rain, the very spirit of the dance. For the first time, you understand. You're not just learning the art. You are becoming the art itself. 2 years as a maiko and you've mastered the art of the double life. Public you, a floating vision of grace, who never sweats, never tires, never needs to pee. Private you, collapse on your futon at 3 a.m., makeup still half on, too exhausted to care that your hairpins are stabbing your dreams. Your okiya keeps a ledger thicker than your arms. Every silk sock, every hair ornament, every shamisen lesson, all tracked down to the last coin. Your debt resembles the national treasury. You once made the mistake of asking how long until you're debt-free. The house mother laughed so hard she nearly choked on her tea. You develop tricks for surviving back-to-back appointments. Sake cup, barely touch your lips to it, and then subtly empty it in a plant when no one's looking. The ficus in the corner of your favorite tea house is perpetually drunk. You swear it started singing after midnight. You perfect the art of the subtle compliment that makes a man feel 10 feet tall without realizing you've manipulated his ego. Your reputation grows. The one with the knowing eyes, they call you. It's exhausting. Like being a therapist in fantastic clothes with better pay and worse hours. You start noticing distinct versions of yourself. Tea house you, dance performance you, festival you, private training you, different masks for different moments. Sometimes you wonder which one is actually real. Maybe they all are, maybe none. 3 years in and your debt still looks insurmountable. And one night, a famous actor visits from the capital. At evening's end, he leaves payments so generous, the house mother's eyes actually widen. She never blinks at money. Never. A week later, she slides a wooden box across the table. Inside, an exquisite Kenzashi hair ornament of tortoiseshell and gold. Not loaned from the okiya. Yours to keep. You've earned this, she says simply. Your first personal possession. A tiny thing to some, but to you, the first tangible evidence that someday you might actually own your life again. Your erike ceremony marks your transition from maiko to full gako. The red collar turns white. The elaborate hairpieces get simplified. Your style becomes subtler, more refined. Less, look at me, more, you wish you could be me. Financial reality check, you're still in debt. But now you control more of your earnings. The house mother takes a smaller cut. You negotiate your own appointments. Suddenly, you're not just an artist. You're a business. A business wrapped in silk with perfect posture. But still, you learn to wield silence like a weapon. A raised eyebrow, a thoughtful pause, the slight tilt of your head. These tiny gestures carry more power than hour-long speeches. You could probably start or prevent a war with the right look at the right moment to the right official. With a reliable dana, you can afford to be selective. No more entertaining every drunk merchant who requests you. No more laughing at jokes that deserve silence. You cultivate a circle of patrons who appreciate art, conversation, and boundaries. Revolutionary concept. Your schedule follows the rhythm of Japan's seasons. Busiest during spring cherry blossoms and fall foliage, when wealthy patrons host viewing parties. Your kimono changes with the seasons too, from winter's heavy silk to summer's lightweight weave. At 25, the house mother assigns you your first maiko to mentor. She's all elbows and anxiety, this girl. Reminds you of someone. You watch her fumble through her first tea ceremony and find yourself saying, again, in the exact tone your teacher used with you. The cycle continues. At 28, you reach a milestone. Your okiya debt is paid in full. The house mother presents you with your cleared account book and a small cup of sake. You are now working for your future, not your past, she says. You sip the sake, and it tastes like possibility. 30 hits different in geisha years. Your knees crack during dance practice. Your back complains after hours of sitting perfectly straight. Your body keeps a ledger of debts just like the okiya did, and it's starting to call them due. You adapt. Strategic scheduling of rest days. The perfect excuse to leave gatherings at exactly the right moment. So sorry I have a special appointment. Translation, my feet are killing me and I need to faceplant onto my futon immediately. The perfect kneeling position that once felt as natural as breathing now sends shooting pains up your legs after an hour. You develop ingenious techniques for appearing perfectly composed while actually shifting your weight every few minutes. It's like running a marathon while pretending to be a statue. You open a small, exclusive tea house with your savings. Not an okiya. You don't want the responsibility of raising new gako, but a space where you control the atmosphere, the clientele, the experience. Your reputation draws the elite automatically. Your terms are non-negotiable. They come anyway. Some successful gako before you chose to marry patrons and retire. Others purchased their own okiya, becoming businesswomen in a time when female entrepreneurs were practically unheard of. You're part of a rare tradition of women who could actually own property and run businesses. A famous artist asks to paint your portrait for a temple commission. When he reveals the finished work, you're startled to see yourself immortalized alongside images of ancient poetry, sumo, and imperial court traditions. You're no longer just practicing tradition. You've become part of it. At 40, you hear a tourist call you the last of a dying art. You smile politely while mentally dismissing their ignorance. Looking at your students, at the packed schedule of your tea house, at the continued demand for what only gako can provide, you know better. What began as an unexpected life sentence has transformed into a consciously chosen path. One evening, sitting in your private room after the last client has left, you trace the faint laugh lines hidden beneath your white makeup. You think about the terrified 7-year-old who entered the Okiya all those years ago. At 40, tourists snap photos of you like you're an endangered species. Little do they know, even in modern Japan, young women still choose this path. Fewer than in your day, true, but the art continues. You're not a relic, you're a link in an unbroken chain. We did all right, you whisper to her across time. In a world racing endlessly forward, you become a living bridge to something timeless. And that's worth every cracking knee, every early morning, and every perfect bow along the way.